Exodus chapter 9. God continues to plague Pharaoh and Egypt. Verses 6 and 7. The Lord did this thing on the next day, and all the livestock of Egypt died. But of the livestock of the children of Israel, not one died. And Pharaoh sent, and indeed not even one of the livestock of the Israelites was dead. But the heart of Pharaoh became hard, and he did not let the people go. The first plague of this chapter, fifth plague in general, God kills the livestock of Egypt. Not the livestock of the Israelites though, because that's who he's trying to free. Pharaoh recognizes that this is God working, and knows that it's a horrible thing that's being done to not only him, but to his people in Egypt. But since he's stubborn, a bad ruler, and a bad person, he doesn't care. So his heart becomes hard because he disobeys God. Verses 10 through 12. Then they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh. And Moses scattered them towards heaven. And they caused boils to break out in sores on man and beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not heed them, just as the Lord had spoken to Moses. Another similar thing, the sixth plague now. God is giving these crazy boils to all the Egyptians to irritate them, to show Pharaoh that God is the one true powerful God. Magicians couldn't even make the boils. As we've seen, they've tried to copy God's works in the past chapters. Verses 14 through 16. At this time I will send all my plagues to your very heart, and on your servants and on your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. Now if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, you would have been cut from the earth. Indeed, for this purpose I raised you up, that I may show my power in you, and my name may be declared in all the earth. God told Moses to tell that to Pharaoh. And what he's saying is that though these plagues so far have looked horrible, crazy, why would any loving God ever do that, even if those people are sinners? But God is saying, if I truly wanted to murder all you guys, unleash my full wrath, you guys would all be dead. God says that he's showing mercy, and he's just trying to get a point across that he is the one true God. And he's waiting for Pharaoh to admit that and submit to him, give his life to him, and give the Israelites out of slavery. But Pharaoh is refusing. His next plague is going to be hail. Verses 18 and 19. Behold, tomorrow, about this time, I will cause very heavy hail to rain down, such as has not been in Egypt since its founding until now. Therefore send now and gather your livestock and all that you have in the field, for the hail shall come down on every man and every animal which is found in the field, and is not brought home, and they shall die. So up to this point, this is the craziest plague. The other plagues, you can say that they've been violent, they've caused death, but none have caused death like this plague. God is actually warning the Egyptians. I'm sure the Egyptians, who are just bystanders of Pharaoh being selfish and stubborn, they're annoyed with all these plagues, and I bet some of them aren't actually sinners. So God is warning them, and he's warning Pharaoh, take your people, take your livestock, because this hail is going to kill everyone. Hail would have been a really crazy thing back then because they didn't even get much rain. But some people were with God and they listened, hid from the hail, but others didn't. Verses 24 through 26. So there was hail, and fire mingled with the hail, so very heavy that there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. The hail struck throughout the whole land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast, and the hail struck every herb of the field and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail. That hail was crazy. Not only was it hail, which is water, there was fire mixed in with the water. Extremely violent plague. But there's no excuse because God warned you. Verses 27 and 28. Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said to them, I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous, and my people and I are wicked. Entreat the Lord that there may be no more mighty thundering and hail, for it is enough. I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer. Pharaoh is saying, make the hail stop. I'm acknowledging that I've sinned. You can go away and take the Israelites. Verses 29 and 30. So Moses said to him, as soon as I have gone out of the city, I will spread out my hands to the Lord. The thunder will cease, and there will be no more hail, that you may know that the earth is the Lord's. But as for you and your servants, I know that you will not yet fear the Lord God. Moses has picked up on Pharaoh's habits. This isn't the first time that Pharaoh has said, you can go take your Israelites out of Egypt, and lied. It's not like he didn't know it was a sin. He acknowledged it, but chose to do it. Those are the worst kinds of sins. Lord told Moses that this was coming, though, so he was ready for it. Verses 34 and 35. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain, the hail, and the thunder had ceased, he sinned yet more, and he hardened his heart, he and his servants. For the heart of Pharaoh was hard, neither would he let the children of Israel go, as the Lord had spoken by Moses. Through every sign that God has given, Pharaoh has continued to sin and continued to harden his heart. So the message of this chapter is the same as last chapter. God is a merciful God, but he will punish those who deserve punishments. Doesn't mean that God gives punishments for fun. You give the punishments for yourself when you sin. If you continue to sin on purpose, your punishments will be worse. But in the opposite way, God will bless you if you deserve a blessing. He will protect you from other sinners. God has the ability to do whatever he wants because he's all powerful. He could kill you at any time, give you unimaginable consequences. All you have to do is not sin. Trust in God's plan and fulfill God's plan. That's all I have. Thank you for watching.